Hey y'all, it's Sierra, aka Capricorn Moon Goddess, back with another video for you all. And I wasn't sure how I wanted to go about making this video because it might be a little bit controversial, or people just might not understand if you have not been in this situation. Um, in particularly, you might not understand if you're not a Black woman that is trying to navigate the corporate world or the business world or just life in general. You don't even have to be in the corporate world. You could be working at any place. Um, and I'm trying to see what is the nice way for me to say this. But from what I have experienced throughout my work life, and I'm talking about from the time I was 16 years old working at Arby's, and in my 20s, my early 20s working at Walmart, to the time that I was in my early 20s up until I'm 32, so up until my early 30s working in corporate America. People treat you like you're some sort of anomaly if you are young, Black, and intelligent. If you are young, Black, and articulate. So this is a layered situation. There's age that comes into play. There's the way you're treated when you're a millennial. I can make a whole nother video on that. I probably will. There's the way that you're treated when you are Black. There's the way that you're treated when you are a woman. So if you add all those together, you're a millennial who is a Black woman. That's 3 different layers of things that you are dealing with. And then you have the nerve to be intelligent and articulate on top of that, because we know there are certain stereotypes that go along with that. I cannot tell you all the number of times, because I was an insurance adjuster, so I would talk to people over the phone. The amount of times that people would ask me, customers, coworkers, they would say, what is your nationality? But they really meant, what is your ethnicity? But people don't know the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. So they would ask, what is your nationality? Because you sound like you're white. But I think there may have been some certain words that I said, or, when people try to say there's not a difference between the way white people sound and the way Black people sound, I do think there is a difference as far as maybe the resonance or the tone. There is something there that can give you a clue as to if you are speaking with a Black person or a white person, even if they have a higher pitched voice. A lot of the times, Black people do tend to have a resonance or a tone that is more rich. So I do believe there is a science behind it. And I think that as Black people, we learn to recognize our people. White people, you all don't necessarily have to live in a world where you have to recognize who your allies are or who your potential allies are. But as Black people, we learn to recognize other Black people because we have to look for an ally sometimes. It's just a natural thing to, if you're in a crowd of people, is there an ally here? Because just of the way we just have to navigate the world differently. It is what it is. People can try to say, oh, people try to make stuff about race all the time. Well, the reality is we're living in a world where we do have to navigate differently based on race, ethnicity, things of that nature. So, a lot of the times, you can tell if you are speaking, especially if you're black. I can't speak for what white people are able to distinguish or pick up, but as a black person, you can tell if you're talking to another black person for the most part. But um, people would ask me all the time, like, what is your nationality, meaning what is your ethnicity, or they would be like, what is your race, because it was like I think they could tell that I wasn't white, but at the same time, why are you talking that way, why is your tone that way, why do you articulate that way, why do you enunciate that way. And my name doesn't necessarily give it away. Sometimes you can tell if you're dealing with a black person or a white person, or the nationality, ethnicity, whatever of a person based on their name. But my name is Sierra Monroe. So I think people have a hard time trying to figure out what my ethnicity is based on just my name. So it was just constantly people saying, what's your ethnicity? Can I ask you where you're from? Can I ask you what your nationality is? And it was just like, because of the way that I speak and because of the way I articulate, people don't expect to hear a black person speaking this way. And this is something, sorry, y'all, I got a notification. This is something that I've dealt with from the time that I was young. It's not just white people that do it, black people do it as well. Um, so just kind of trying to frame what it is like to navigate the world, and especially corporate America, as a black person that does not fit the stereotypes, the negative stereotypes that people want to put on us. Um so one of the things that I noticed in corporate America is that people in leadership positions, and particularly white people in leadership positions, tend to feel more comfortable with the black people that they deem as simple minded, the ones that they don't feel are as intelligent, the ones that don't know how to articulate or express themselves in a way that people would feel like an intelligent person would. And what I've noticed is they will exalt those people, they will lift them up, and they will try to suppress the ones that they feel are a little bit too smart, a little bit too strategic, a little bit too articulate. They act like they don't know what to do. Like I said, they act like it's an anomaly when there's so many intelligent, articulate black men and women and children in the world. They still treat you like you're an anomaly, and then they try to play with your intelligence. They try to make you feel like you're not seeing what you're seeing. You're not being treated the way you're being treated. One thing I've learned about corporate America is logic seems to be some sort of taboo. Don't think logically. Don't expect for management and upper management to create a process that is logical, that makes sense, that actually yields the results that they're looking for. As a matter of fact, they will implement things that will work against the results they claim they want. I don't know if they're being honest about the results they claim they want. You say you want a certain level of productivity and customer service, but everything you implement works against that. So maybe you just want robots who are mindlessly working without questioning anything. It's all about the number of calls you take, the number of cases or claims that you handle, how much work can you get done. As a matter of fact, they have certain calculations supposedly that tell them how much work one person should be able to do. And they don't consider what all goes into doing that work. I don't know where they're getting these statistics and these numbers from. I know they talk a lot about JD Powers, and I feel like if you work in corporate America, you probably are sick of hearing about JD Powers, but I'm not even going to go in on them yet. That's going to be another video. You see how I kind of got a little bit spicy when I said that? My tone changed a little bit. I think that's why people would be like, are you black or are you white? Because they could hear like some spiciness in there, some flavor, some soul in there, but also, you know, the tone, I guess, or the articulation is like confusing people. So, like I said, it's like they want you to be mindless robots. So when they see a simple-minded black person, they're comfortable with that. They're okay with being friends with them and keeping them around and giving them all the awards and this and that and the third, because they're not a threat. It's about threat, period, point blank. Now, realistically, if you think about it, I don't know if any white person should be threatened by black people in the corporate world, because you all have a leg up. It is what it is. You don't have the stigmas that you have to work against already stacked up against you. I know some white people that have things on their background that a black person could never have on their background and get hired in corporate America, but they got hired. So there is, and there are differences, and it just is what it is. But because of the resilience that you have to possess as a black person, and I said have to possess, it's not optional. You have to learn how to be resilient, period. You don't get to be soft. That's why we have all of these conversations about black women tired of being called the strong one and this, that, and the other, because it has not been an option to just be and to be soft. So you already have to deal with that. And then you have the nerve to speak, and you can articulate clearly. You can express a thought clearly. You can argue without emotion. You can influence other people. When you start to talk, other people are like, yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that person. But they don't want to speak up because they're afraid to speak up. So you have the nerve to actually speak up. And at the end of the day, they can't argue with you when you speak. There is no rebuttal that makes sense. They don't know what to do with that. They rather deal with the simple-minded black person that's going to go along with whatever they say. They don't even think about trying to come against management. I'm trying not to be, if y'all hear me pausing a lot, it's because I'm speaking on real life situations that involve real life people. So I don't want any of those people to see this stuff and become offended by what I'm saying. But I didn't work with some, I'm just going to say it, they're not smart. They're not smart. When they speak, you can tell they're not smart. And they don't realize that the reason why their white counterparts love them so much is because they're not smart and you're not a threat to them. I don't know how many other people are dealing with this, but I feel like it's not just me. It can't just be me. And I feel like people might not even realize it or recognize it. And I'm talking about all the players. I'm talking about the simple-minded black person. They might not realize what's going on. The white counterparts that love them because they're simple-minded, they might not realize that's what's happening. They may not be aware of that. But when you're the intelligent one, the one they treat like an anomaly, you start to peep stuff like that. I remember I was working at Arby's. That's why I said this is corporate America, but it's pretty much everywhere. And I had a manager that was white, and he was just talking about something. This guy thought he knew everything, okay? I forgot what we were talking about, but I said some kind of word to him. I don't even remember what the word was. And this man literally stopped and was like, "You know that word?" He was staring in awe, like the choices of words that you choose to use. Like, how do you even know those words? And he literally was like, "You know that word?" And as a black person, you kind of learn how to choose your battles, and you don't just argue with everything. You don't call people out on everything. You just don't even give people a reaction to certain things. There's been so many things that white people have said that are out of line to me, okay? In professional environments, and I remember I had a white coworker that was like, "I would never date a black woman because y'all are too sassy. Like, I'm scared y'all will bite my head off." And I don't even think I reacted. I had a white coworker ask me if my hair was real one time. I don't think I reacted. You just learn to just not react sometimes because it's not even worth getting upset or mad. And you start to realize that most of the time, white people, they don't have to be self-aware. They get to navigate this world without being as self-aware. So they aren't even aware of some of the racist things that they might say. And it's just like, I'm just not even going to react to you. I have had customers, because I don't sound like the typical black person to them on the phone. In my opinion, I sound black. But to a lot of white people, I don't sound black on the phone. So like I said, I was an insurance adjuster, and I would talk to people about problems that were going on in their houses, and also if they had like thefts and things of that nature. So I had a customer, he wasn't white, he was Middle Eastern, and he was reporting a theft that happened at his home. And he was like, "I swore up and down it was these black kids that were riding bikes. They're always riding bikes in my area. And I just knew it was them. And when I looked on my security cameras, it was a white guy that broke in my house. I can't believe it was a white guy and not the black kids that were riding on the bikes." Like, he could not process it. So a lot of the times people would say stuff to me on the phone because they didn't know I was black and I wouldn't tell them I was black. You don't even feel safe disclosing that you're a black person. So it would be awkward when people would ask me because I would be like, are they going to be difficult with me now that they know I'm black? Like, I don't even know if I want to answer that question when customers would ask me. So I would have customers racist, like, oh, don't send any black people to my house. I don't want them to be the ones that inspect my house. Send a white person. I've also had them tell me, don't send any women out here, send a man. They don't feel like women can do inspections or write repair estimates. That's why I said being black and being a woman is like a double whammy in the corporate world. In the world, period. But I'm specifically talking about corporate. So you have to navigate, like, when do I say something to people? When do I let stuff go? Do I allow this to ruin my day? Do I take this personal? It's just, I think I told this story in my video about me quitting my job, and I said there was a white man, a white customer that was sexually harassing me. He would just call me to talk to me, not about his claim, but just to talk to me about his day and all of that, and asking if I was married, and telling me how much money he has and all that stuff. And he randomly showed up to our office one day. I didn't feel comfortable meeting with him, so I sent one of my male coworkers. I sent one of my black male coworkers to meet with him, and something told me he's gonna be mad that I sent somebody else, but he's gonna be mad in particular that I had the nerve to send a black man to talk to him or whatever. And sure enough, he got mad and he started calling me when he left the office, going off. And he mentioned something that didn't make any sense to me. He said, I don't sit on my butt at home all day being lazy. And I was just like, why would you even say that? Like, you talk to me, you call me at my job every day. Clearly, you know I'm not at home being lazy, not working. Why are you even saying that? And it's just like, sometimes the stuff white people will say to you is like, do you even realize what you're saying? Like, you sound like you're stereotyping. Like, I'm black, so you gotta point out to me that you're not lazy. Are you saying that we're lazy? Like, that doesn't even make sense when you're talking to me while I am at work, sir. The things that people will flip on you when they get mad at you. In that same video, I talked about how I had a white coworker who was mad at me about something, and she literally was standing over me while I was sitting down. Mind you, I'm 4'11". I'm a small person. I got a big personality, okay? But I'm a small person. I'm sitting down. This lady, I said she's like a freaking a woodsman. I can't think of the word, but she's like a stocky kind of woman, right? Standing over me while I'm sitting down, yelling and screaming in my face. And she had the nerve to tell me I was being aggressive with her. Because when you're a black person and people get mad at you in the corporate world, they start to tell you how they really feel. And a lot of times it doesn't even make sense. How are you telling me I'm aggressive when I'm sitting down talking to you in a normal tone of voice and you're screaming and yelling at me, standing over me? But I'm being aggressive. It's really an issue when you don't feed into their stereotypes. So they get upset when you aren't acting aggressive, when you aren't acting like a buffoon or stupid or not making sense or like the angry, mad black woman. They don't like it when you're not acting like that, and they start to react to you in that way because they want you to act that way in conflict. They don't expect you to know how to navigate and handle yourself in conflict. They don't expect you to know how to talk to them like a rational human being, not raise your voice, be firm, stand on what you said, not back down, but do it in a professional way. They don't think you know how to handle stuff in a professional way, how to still get your point across but still be professional at the same time. So they can't even go and truthfully tell people you are out of line. That triggers them even more. It's not just white people that do this, black people will treat you that way also. But it's more so of a white people because it's like they don't know how to react to a black person that knows how to keep their cool. They have a problem with you making them look stupid and making them look like the crazy one. I remember I had a manager tell me, "You're very strategic." She was like, "You're very strategic." And I sure am, okay? I know how to document things well, document our conversations, document our emails, and all of that. And I'll still call you out, but I'm going to do it in a way that's still professional. And they don't know how to handle that, and therefore they will not like you. And I don't even know if they realize why they don't like you. So how are they going to fix something that they don't even fully realize is happening? So if you are a black woman in corporate America and you are dealing with this, just know that you are not alone. Just know that you are not crazy. Yes, there are people that dislike you because you actually have tact and you know how to hold yourself together and you are intelligent, smart, and articulate. But I want you to keep doing you, keep being you. And when you're able to get out of any toxic situations that you're in, go ahead and do it at the time that works best for you. So, anyways, I guess this was a rant because I don't even know if I like was really being like linear or sticking to one topic. So I guess this would be like a rant video, but I just felt like saying it, okay? So anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch and or listen. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are on YouTube watching this. And if you have any crazy stories that happened to you in corporate America, please feel free to let us know in the comments so people can understand that they are not alone, okay? And I hope you have a great day. Bye.